What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It's a nice sunny day here in Findlay, Ohio, and I'm hanging out in the beer shed, getting ready to check out a new beer. Now, the beer I have today is from False Chord Brewing, and this one is called Darkened Dulcimer. So, you may hear Darkened Dulcimer and think, what's that, TK? And I'll say, turn to Google, like I did. Apparently, a dulcimer is a stringed instrument. It looks like you play it like across your lap, and you kind of play it like this. I don't know, it looked like kind of long and weird kind of an instrument. I can't say that I'm super familiar with it, but that's what it's in reference to. And the one thing you should know, False Chord out of Findlay, Ohio, all of their beers, not all, but most of them are usually music related. So thus the dulcimer tie-in. Now this is a doppelbock, comes in at 5% ABV. Couldn't find anything on the IBUs. Now, again, I'm pretty excited to try this one. I love False Chord. I'm a member of the private group where you kind of pay and you get some yearly benefits. I really like these guys. When they first opened up the brewery, it came down and they were kind enough to let Anderson and I record a video very early in our career as well. And it didn't go well. The audio stuff didn't work and it turned into a complete failure. But they were really cool about it, were really gracious. And, you know, I've kind of always respected them for taking the time to work with some new guys who didn't know what the hell they're doing. So I appreciate that. Now, the other thing is they tend to do a lot of IPAs, and I'm not a huge IPA guy, so when they do something that's a little maltier, I'm usually ecstatic and thrilled to give it a shot. Now, like I said, this one is called Darkened Dulcimer. It's a doppelbock, and let's see what it tastes like. When I went to Beer Advocate, it was an NA. There wasn't enough check-ins, or nobody checked in on Beer Advocate. On Untappd, it had a 4.17, but should note there's only 21 check-ins, so very small sample size. Now, the look of this thing is quite magnificent. If we look at the color, I'll break out my SRM chart. I think we're dealing with a nice deep amber color. I'd probably go maybe low 20s, maybe like a 23. When you put it up to the light outside here, it's kind of like a little reddish hue to it. The head looks magnificent. We got probably a finger or two fingers worth of nice kind of cream-colored head. It's not going anywhere. It's hanging about. Looks really good, really inviting. Let's give it a sniff. Now, I do know from reading about this one on Untappd, it said that this is a doppelbock, but it's got a little bit of a twist on it. This is made with, it said, a light handful of orange peel, ginger, and cinnamon. So, pretty interesting flavor profile. Let's hope we picked them all up. On the nose, I'm just kind of picking up lightly sweet. Maybe a tiny, tiny hint of citrus is what I'm getting on the nose. Yeah, it smells good. Looks good. Let's give it a shot. I'm going with my Young's glass that I liberated from a pub in London probably 20 years ago. So, cheers. What's the statute of limitations on pint glass theft? I should be okay by now. This here was canned on 2/7. I don't even know what today's date is. It hasn't been that long, maybe a week or week to 10 days or something. I was a little worried I might let it sit too long, but tastes perfectly fine. Body, I would say, is kind of medium. It's not a super full beer. So I say medium body. As far as the flavors, you get like a kind of a nice caramelly flavor. I think you pick up some nice roasty grain, not in the sense of a stout, but you get the grain, the malt, that backbone is there, and it kind of comes through. Then you pick up some of those other flavors. I think the ginger hits, like once you drink it, you kind of feel it, you know, as you swallow the beer, you get, I don't want to say it's a burn, but you pick up a tiny bit of that ginger. If you're a ginger fan, like I am, I think it goes really quite nicely with this beer. Cinnamon, I think you could probably pick up a little bit of that. I get that more on my lips than anything else. It's kind of strange. Usually whenever I have a beer with cinnamon, and usually it's around Christmas because a lot of the spiced ales do, I think initially I don't taste the cinnamon. Then you either get a tiny bit of burn or you pick it up on your lips, like if you just eaten you know, some kind of cinnamon candy, which I am also a big fan of cinnamon. So I think you get a tiny bit of cinnamon, and I do think you pick up the orange as well. The orange, I think, hits me more on the nose than in the body, because I think the light ginger and the light cinnamon probably masks it a little bit. But all in all, I think this is a really good beer. Like I said, I'm always happy when breweries do some malty beers. I know everybody likes IPAs, right? Everybody loves them. That's all we need. But there are people out there that want to try something else besides IPAs. So I love it when breweries do that. Now, like I said, these guys are pretty cool. They usually have their menu broken down in sections, and it'll tell you like hoppy, malty, light. for, you know, different palates for all different kinds of people. And it's one of the things like me and Anderson generally complain about. A lot of breweries you go to will have 8 beers, 6 of them are IPAs. It's just like, come on, man, like, you gotta have something else to mix in there as well. So False Chord, great job with this beer. I think it does round out some of your other, you know, the other beers you make really well. And I was thrilled to be able to try this one. So for me, False Chord Brewing, big thumbs up. If you can check them out, go see them. They're in Findlay, Ohio. Till next time, cheers.